Hello folks, hope you're doing well. Just had a quick walk and talk. Well, walk and talk with God. Yes. Yeah. Well, and I think certainly the conclusion will have to be, as I said about starting again. I think starting again has to be the way. Before starting again, the rose tinted glasses need to be taken off, but done according to His will, His way, because certain places will need a very, very gentle touch. Other places you can be a bit more like a ball in a china shop, because that's what they need, because maybe they need to be shocked to that degree to wake them up. Some places that would be the case. Other places people have been hurt a lot, and so a gentle approach might be needed, but the problem is a lot of people, and I've said this before, when you have pastors as leaders of churches, they basically say, okay, everything is done by the weakest, so we're not going to move forward until the weakest is ready. We're not going to do anything until the weakest is ready. Okay. But a proper leader basically says, God says we're going. If you who are the weakest can't get yourself ready and get up and go, then we're going to leave you. Because the problem is, if you're holding things back for the weakest will always be the weakest. They have no motivation to get up and get sorted. So, those people that have been hurt in the past, get over it. Get over it. One of the first things you must do with those people is help them to understand to let that go. That's one of the first things. Forgiveness and, basically letting God help you to be free from all that stuff. Letting God do that. Then you can deal with things. Then you can help them to take the rose tinted glasses off. But that's got to be done. That has to be done. That's priority. Because if you're going to start again, you have to help people to realise where they are. Not for condemnation purposes. Not in any way, shape or form. It's not about condemning people. It's not about saying, no. Because if God did that, we'd all be knackered. So if we're supposed to be of His nature, we don't do that. If we're supposed to be of His nature, it's going to be all done through love. And how that's going to look, as I say, I think that really does depend upon where you are. But the whole point of seeing where you are is you can see how far you're going to go. And you can repent. If you understand that you've not given it all to God, if you understand that, then you're in a position where you can make a decision to give it all to God. If you think you've already given it all to God but you haven't, you're never going to give it all to God, are you? That's the point. So understanding where you are is very important to understand what you might need to do to get right with God. So you can start to see the results that you've been wanting for a long, long time. And as a church, that's paramount. The level of importance for that as a church is, well, there's a few things. That is first of all, understanding where you are right now, but also understanding who you are and how where you are is not where you should be with regards to who you are. That there's a big difference between the two. So repent of that and jump into who you are. Start walking according to who you are, not who you were. Because if you're still walking according to who you were, then you're going to stop doing that and walk according to who you are. So it sounds very complicated. It really isn't. No, as I said, I mean, we've got to understand what's missing and correct that. It's like, spiritual surgery would be like physical surgery. You've got to understand where the problem is in order to fix it. If you can't understand where the problem is, right, so in the medical world you do x-rays, you do scans to figure out exactly where the problem is so you can fix it. So you can identify the problem and you can repair that. Same in the spiritual. You've got to identify where the problem is so you can repair that. And again, God will help, because in different churches the problems will be different. It won't be the same across the board. There'll be some things that are the same across the board, but it won't be all the same across the board. And so therefore, as with everything, it will have to be done according to his will, his ways, and him leading and guiding. Absolutely and totally. Because it's got to be his way or bust. It's the only way we can move forward is if it's his way or bust. Yeah, we've got to say it's worth it. I mean, how many people have said, how many people say that they would give their lives for God? When they're, okay, prove it, step up. Prove it, step up. And do that. Otherwise, shut up talking about it. Yeah, it's now time to do it. It's now time for those people who are willing to step up now. And those people that just talk to sit down and shut up. That's the reality now. Yeah. What's this I mean in churchy culture, in prayer meetings and stuff like that, it's like people think, oh, I've got something to say, so I'm important and it's partly about me, so therefore if I've got something to say, I just need to spurt it out rather than actually say, Father, do I need to say this? Is this something you want me to say? Yeah. Going to God about it and saying, is this something you want me to say? Doesn't seem to be something that was deemed important. Well, to me, I ask the question with that. What? Yeah. What? We sing songs about what the Lord did. It seems that most of the people in church don't really believe it. They don't really believe it. They don't think that that's an actual reality. Because if they did think that that was an actual reality, they'd be doing so much more with their walk. They would count it so much more seriously and think it was so much more worth. Yeah. Well, there's so much more worth. Okay, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I know what I mean. Yeah, so much more worthy. Okay, add a bit to it. There you go. Really difficult. It is really difficult. God is going to have to rise people up in areas or even in churches, in each church, to be the ones that he's going to use to bring the change about individually in each church. Because the church is going to do what it's always bloody well done. Someone puts that message of that person who's going to do it online, and then they all just copy what that person said. That can't be done. That can't be done. Because that isn't understanding. Your church is different, completely different to any other church. The people in it are different. The town is different. The people in the town are different. What that church needs is therefore different to the needs of other churches. If you come about it with that understanding first about your church, you might actually have a chance of being guided by God to get your church into a position where it can be completely functional again. Or, I say again, I'm not sure if most of them ever were. But, okay, can be completely functional. Some again. Some, yeah. Just completely functional. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, identity is really important, as I said that before. But also identity of your church. Understanding the identity of your church. And letting God deal with your church as its identity rather than the fact it's a church. If you can't look beyond the fact that it's a church in this town with Christians in it, if you can't see that church has its own identity because of the people in it, where it's located and the people around it, and therefore the needs of that church are going to be very different to the needs of other churches. And God knows exactly what the needs are. Even though the differences might be slight. Might be very, very slight. But when you look at it from a spiritual point of view, the slight really can be noticeable when it's missing. So we need God. We need God to be leading, guiding the people that are going to do it. And the people to do it as completely independent from every other church. Completely independent. I don't care if churches are joined by whatever. I couldn't care less about that. Yeah, with regards to sorting your church out, your church is an independent church in that area. It has to be independently sorted out by God. If you don't see that, then you won't be coming on that journey of what God's going to do next. I mean, it really is as simple as that. So, yeah. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work for God to do. I mean, Father, sorry. Yeah, I know you're big enough and well, more than capable of doing that, so in your hands we leave this, don't we? Yeah, indeed. So, there you go. I'm going to leave you to it. I wish you well. Have a fantastic week. I'll speak to you soon. God bless. And bye-bye.